folks, welcome to the channel Rockin' the Country. I'm Don. I've got a gift request from none other than Montauk Ed. Ed, shout out to you, my friend. Thank you for this gift. And it's Steve Wariner's song, What I Didn't Do. And I've done a couple of Steve songs, and he's for real. And Ed is for real too, which so it kind of makes sense. And I'm guessing that this song, Ed's selections, Ed's requests tend to put it to me. And philosophically, just in the context of life. And I really like that, being made to think, feel, and just seeing where the artists and lyricists, where they're going with the song. So let's see what Steve's got for us here. What I Didn't Do. Like a song of regret.
I didn't cheat and I didn't lie, so her leaving took me by surprise.
Ooh.
Just a note on the table saying we're through. At first I went crazy, so it took me some time, but I finally read between the lines. It's not what I did, it's what I didn't do.
Ooh, let's see how he develops this.
I didn't tell her each day I loved her.
Yeah.
I took it for granted, somehow she knew. I didn't hold her when she needed a shoulder. It's not what I did, it's what I didn't do.
Relationships got to be the complete package.
Now it's easy to see why her love died. She was planning her nights by the TV guide. She needed me with her more than I knew. I was too busy working, getting ahead, when I should have been home loving her instead.
Balancing act.
It's not what I did, it's what I didn't do.
You know, in so many ways, folks want it all, and you're not going to get it all. You're going to give something to be in a relationship. You get something in a relationship, but you give up something to be in a relationship. You get something to remain single, and you give up something to remain single. So but the balancing act between work and sensitivity to your significant other. It looks so obvious after the fact, but we have to look at our expectations when we go into a relationship. Like, what are they? We all have expectations going into a relationship. And maybe the halfway house to expectations is hope. And then hope can be like, okay, maybe he'll be this way or she'll be this way or whatever. And, you don't go into a relationship with zero expectations. And you go into it because you think life is going to be better. Same thing as starting a business or going to school. You think it's going to make your life better. You do these things. And so there are certain expectations. There's certainly hopes involved, but the balancing act. And you can do everything right and still get left because it depends on what the other person is looking for. And you might be the one who did the leaving, even though the other person was a good person and all this stuff. And all right, let's see I have a lot of thoughts on this song, obviously.
I didn't tell her each day I loved her.
That's the easiest thing to do. Tell her.
I took it for granted, somehow she knew.
She felt it.
I didn't hold her when she needed a shoulder.
Yeah. When I was back at Rutgers, I was a double major, philosophy, and it was called Administration of Justice or Criminal Justice. And it was in a philosophy class that we studied. We discussed the difference between a crime of commission and a crime of omission. And you get into these ethical dilemmas where you're made to think. And there isn't a right answer or wrong answer to a lot of these contemplative exercises. But a crime of the standard example is somebody is in the bathtub and you go in and you drown them. It's really just drown them. Now that's a crime of commission. You're committing a crime, actively doing something. But then the next question is, well, if you happen to see somebody in a tub and all you have to do is just stick your hand in and pull them up, no danger to you whatsoever, pull them up, but you don't, have you committed a crime? Both things led to that person's death. And so then you get into all these different, what is your responsibility as a human being to act to save someone versus to not act? Anyway, in a relationship, there are things that you've got to do for the relationship and things that you've got to not do. Like he started in the beginning by saying he didn't cheat, he didn't lie. So those were good things, right? But he wasn't actively doing certain things with her. And it just didn't work. And she was, I'm sure, sending signals along the way, but not necessarily. Some people will suffer silently and just leave when they've had enough. They expect you to see it, they don't speak up, and they leave. Relationships they're just tough. That's all I can say. It's, when you take two people, and every human being is dynamic. Yeah, every single one of us. And you put two people in the same room long enough or the same house long enough, there are going to be some issues. But that's where I go back to the expectations that we set for relationships, that sometimes you set yourself up for failure. Sometimes you set other people up for it because you're demanding and you want a certain thing and you don't dial it back or take a personal inventory to see if what you want is reasonable or if you can give up on those particular things, because you're not going to get everything you want in a relationship. You're just not. It doesn't work that way. But you want the good times to outweigh the bad times. I don't know what the ratio would be. Probably, I don't know, 3-to-1, 5-to-1, whatever the number is you really want. At least the tranquil times to far outweigh the stressful times. So, all right, I'm going to rate this. And good Lord, I knew you were going to do it to me. In the end of these songs, I'm like so invested in the lyrics. Then I'm like, oh yeah, it was Montauk Ed. Makes a lot of sense that I'm still talking. The lyrics I love. All right, so now I got to comment. I like the instrumentation because it allowed the story to be told gently. You felt his pain. You felt his guilt, the way Steve sang it. It worked. The number that popped into my head, and it really was on the strength of the lyrics, was a 9.1. And this is going to go, I have a playlist, premarital counseling playlist. And this is going in that. And that's going to be a growing playlist. So, because people who are thinking of getting married or about to get married, this is what they ought to just have in their head ahead of time, what not to do and what to do, so they're a little bit more prepared for it. All right, Ed, thanks again. Have a great day, folks. See you on another video. Keep rocking the country.